Hello again. As you know, I am Eli the Computer Guy, and today's class is CRM, or Customer Relationship Management Software Introduction. So Customer Relationship Management Software is a vital component of what you will need in order to be a good technician in the real world. Again, you guys are just hammering away at your CCNAs and your Microsoft certifications, and CRM software is one of those things that you don't think about, and sadly, real professionals don't take it seriously enough, and therefore their careers don't go as far as they could because they're not using an incredibly valuable tool. So CRM, or Customer Relationship Management Software, is essentially all it is built to do is help you manage your relationships with your customers or your clients. Now, you will see this in many different facets. So you might see it in some type of help desk software. So if you're used to help desk software, ticket tracking software, that is a CRM solution. You'll see it in sales. So people that are trying to gain sales leads and close the sales, actually, get some money going back and forth, they will use CRM software. And with projects, a lot of the projects that are going on now really are more CRM, customer relationship management software oriented tasks, rather than the old-fashioned project management. So the main thing that you have to understand with CRM software is what it is trying to do. What the CRM software is trying to do for you is to make sure that you don't lose track of all the tasks that are required for the relationship with your customer. So again, when I was out in the enterprise world, I worked at a major corporation as a field technician. I would get 30 work orders a day, and they spanned everything. They spanned everything from networking problems to telephone system problems to server problems to people locked themselves out of their password problems, and they were spread over 10 offices throughout the Northeast region. So imagine getting 30 work orders every single day. Now, dealing with the work orders wasn't that bad. It sounds like 30 sounds like a lot, but sadly, far too many of them were people forgetting their passwords, to be honest with you. But it was still 30. So that's 30 individual people in 30 different places, every single day. Over a week, that was 150 work orders. So now a lot of the work orders that I got were simply people locked themselves out of their user accounts, or they wanted to change some key on their phone to be, a different extension or something. Was pretty easy. Now, some of them, though, would take multiple days to be able to rectify. I would have to call a different department, I would have to get permission, I'd have to order parts, so on and so forth. So imagine 150 work orders every single week. Some would be done quickly, some would take an amount of time. 150 different people submitting them in different geographic locations. If I did not have some type of CRM solution, that would have been a nightmare to try to keep track of. Actually doing the work really honestly wasn't that difficult, but simply trying to keep track of 150 different people with different problems in different geographic locations. So that is why we use that help desk ticket tracking system, because it allows you to be able to keep track of all that information. So you can sit down at your screen, you can see the work orders that are open, you can click on the work order, you can add notes, you can close the work order. So basically all that information is there. So if you're sitting there and you're looking at a work order and you're like, oh, I know I did something on that before, you can click on it, and then you can read your previous notes, and then you go, oh, I know what I did before. And that's what the CRM does. It just helps you make sure you don't forget some of the vital things that you've done. Make sure you don't redo work that you've already done in the past. Now, with sales, it's very important because it allows you to close sales. Now, again, when you go out there, when you're a consultant, or even when you get into the enterprise world and you're trying to close sales, the one thing that's very difficult for most people to learn is that the easiest way to close a sale is to act as if you don't really care if a sale gets closed. So when you go up to a lead, the easiest way to close that sale is to be like, man, I understand if you don't want to buy our product. I just wanted to reach out to you again just to see if you might be interested right now. Well, the thing is on the surface, this is a very nonchalant, you're all relaxed. It seems like you could care less if they buy your product or not. Well, the way that you close sales is by having an infrastructure that allows you to do that very easily. So with the CRM solutions, when you're dealing with sales, what will happen is whenever you get a lead, you will come up with a process for how you deal with a lead. So you get that lead, you put their information in, and then maybe you send them an email. And then you have it automatically set up to remind you in a week to call them. And then you have it automatically set up to remind you in 3 weeks, hey, why don't you stop by their business? And what makes this very powerful for closing sales is what it allows you to do is it allows you to remember to keep reaching out to these sales leads, but make it seem like spur of the moment. So you can plug into a CRM piece of software to say, drop into this person's office in 6 months. And then you can completely forget about them. And 6 months from now, you'll get this little notification that pops up that says, oh, you should drop in this guy's office to see if he now has the budget in order to buy the product or service you're trying to sell. Again, one of the big things that you have to understand in business is a lot of times people want to buy your product, but they're dealing with their business cycles. Some people buy their things in the winter. Some people make their major purchases in the summer. Sometimes they want to buy your product, but they can only buy your product if the project that they've already paid for comes in under budget, and that won't be finished for another 4 months. So I bug the person 2 months from now, they'll tell me to go away. But if I contact them in 4 months and say, hey, did that project come in under budget? Oh, good, it did. So you want to buy my product now? That's what the CRM solution allows you to do. Allows you to keep track of all this stuff. The other important thing with these CRM, customer relationship management software solutions, is it allows your boss to have metrics to see what it is you're doing. Again, the big thing with being a boss is it can be very frustrating trying to figure out which of your employees are doing what they're supposed to be doing and which are not. You know, when you have the eagle eye view, you're just looking at 10 different you're looking at 10 employees, and they basically look all the same. They all look like they're on the phone all day. They all look like they're doing work, but there could be a vast disparity between the people that are actually bringing money into the business and the ones that, yeah, they're on the phone, but they're talking to their girlfriend. So the thing with these customer relationship management pieces of software is it allows you to get metrics. So I, as a boss, I can look at my employees' notes and can see, oh, Bob over here made 100 outgoing calls today and has 200 different notes and set up 30 appointments for next week. And Tim over here made 10 outgoing calls today, made 1 appointment for next week, and really needs to get fired. That's one of the things with a CRM solution. Not only does it allow you to keep track of what's going on, but for your management, it gives them metrics so they can do resource allocation. So again, when I worked in the enterprise world, one of the reasons that I was such a stickler for doing all of my work orders, my tickets, is because I would then go to my boss and say, look, I have completed more tickets than anybody else on our team. Therefore, I want X, Y, or Z. And it was very difficult for him to argue because by the metrics, I was the top performer on the team. A lot of the other members of the team wouldn't complete the work orders. And so when they went to make requests, they would get denied. Why? Because as far as the metrics were concerned, they weren't doing anything. This was also important because you have to think not just your boss, but your boss's boss. So when my boss then went up to his boss, and he was demanding more money for our department, he could say, look, you know, our department had 500 work orders per week on average last year. This year we have 700 work orders per week. We need more money. We need more resources. So that's why this is so vital and so important for organizations. Now, when you're thinking about going for CRM software, again, this is all the CRM, the customer relationship management software, is built for specific tasks. Some is a help desk work order system. Some is a sales lead system. Some is like what I personally just bought from Zoho, is more of a project management system. So the one thing that you have to think about when you are going out there to buy this software is it is not all the same. It's all slightly different, and it's geared different. So like one of the pieces of customer relationship management software that I was looking at before was something called Extrant, and that is built more for the creative type projects and type relationships. So if you're having banner ads made for a client, or if you're having some kind of digital print, it's built around that. So one of the main things to think about with the CRM software is it is designed for specific environments. So when you're going out to buy it, make sure you buy the one that's for your particular environment. Now, when you're going out to buy CRM software, again, just like everything nowadays, you can either do self-hosted solutions or you can do hosted solutions. So basically what this means is you can either have a server installed on your premises, or you can have the software installed on your desktop computers, or you can buy the service just like you would from Gmail. So basically that is some kind of hosted solution up there. Now there's good points and there's drawbacks with all of this. One of the warnings that I would give you is, remember, especially if you have a decent sized organization, your CRM software is going to become one of the most valuable assets of your entire organization. The CRM software is going to contain all the information about your clients. It's going to contain all the information about your leads. It's going to contain just a massive amount of information. So when you are assessing the value of your CRM software, don't look at it simply as in it cost me $100 a license or it cost me $20 a month. Think about all the content that is actually in there, all of those notes, all of those phone numbers, all of those email addresses. What happens if that gets lost? One of the reasons why I suggest people now go with hosted solutions is because of that. Because a lot of people think, well, it will be less expensive if I host it myself. I will just host it myself, and hey, I'll go with something like Sugar CRM, which is free. Problem is, you forget to do the backups for a couple months, because the server's running fine, the hard drive crashes, and now all of a sudden 3 or 4 months of your customer data is gone. That can be a very, 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 very scary thing. So when you're thinking between hosted solutions or self-hosted solutions, just keep that in mind. Remember, the value of this software is in the data that is contained within it, not actually within the data itself. Now, one of the things that you should be thinking about when you're looking at these CRM solutions is to ask how well the data synchronizes with other applications. And this is something that you should be thinking about. So if your company uses Outlook and your company uses smartphones, can you automatically synchronize the data to your smartphones, to Outlook, so on and so forth? So if you change data within the CRM solution, will that automatically migrate to Outlook, and will it then automatically migrate to your smartphone? That is one thing with this software that's generally installed onto your desktop computer or your laptop computer. It generally has better automatic synchronization of capabilities than the hosted solution. So this is something that you want to think about, because if you update all the information in your CRM, but then that doesn't go to Outlook, and then Outlook is what synchronizes to your smartphone, then when you go to call a client, you may not have their most up-to-date information in your smartphone. So that's one thing that can be valuable. With a lot of the hosted solutions, they allow you to do manual synchronization, basically where you can like download contact cards. Again, not necessarily bad, but it's not automatic. This is something that you should be thinking about. One of the other things you should be thinking about is how it deals with notifications. So notifications are very important. Again, as I was talking about, you plug into your customer relationship management system and you say, I want to contact this guy in 6 months when he knows what his budget will be. Well, if that little notification only pops up in the CRM software and you only open up your CRM software every day or two, you may not see that notification and you may miss it. So one of the things you should look at with your CRM software is how does it deploy notifications? Does it only show it within the CRM software, or will it send out an email to you or some other kind of alert? That is what I would suggest, because again, what you've got to be thinking about is with a CRM, you're going to be, think about having, like I say, 30 or 50 or 100 different balls in the air, all at different points. It's easiest if it will send you automatic notifications so that you can keep track of all of what's going on. Now, the final thing, one of the things that you should be thinking about with the CRM software is how it deals with user fees. So what this means is basically how do you pay for this software? Now, depending on what you're doing, this can get really wonky really quickly, and I'll show you that on one of the solutions when we go to my computer. So sometimes when you pay, it's on a per license basis. So if you go with Act by Sage, so Act actually gets installed onto your computer, you pay per license. So if the user has a desktop computer and a laptop computer and a home computer, and you want them to have access to the CRM solution at all those places, you now have to buy 3 licenses. So you know, $50 or $100 or $300 now turns into $150, $300 or $900 for that software. So something to be careful about. The other way they can do it is by actual user accounts. So Bob has an account, Mary has an account, John has an account, Tim has an account. It costs $50 a month. So something like Salesforce. So Salesforce is a CRM solution. They're kind of pricey, but you know, $50 a month and you get that account. The other thing that you can see is that they have what are called concurrent sessions. So what that means is you can have any number of users or agents or whatever you want to call them, but only so many of them can be logged in at any one time. Again, I am not saying what is best, I am not saying what is good, I am not saying what is bad, I am not saying what is wrong, but this is something that you should look at. Again, a very cost-effective solution could get expensive very, very quick, especially with us nowadays where we use so many devices. So it used to be much less expensive to buy a self-hosted solution. So I would buy Act, I would install it on my computer, and that wasn't too bad. I spent 50 or 100 or 300 bucks and I was done. So that may seem like a more cost-effective solution than $20, $30, or $50 a month, right? But if your employees have a desktop computer and a tablet and a laptop and a home computer, again, instead of spending $100 for a license, you may now be spending $500, and so buying that monthly plan no longer seems so bad. So those are some of the things that you should be thinking about. So let's go over to the computer for a second, just so I can, again, give you an idea of what's going on with CRM so you really grasp why this is so important. So we are over. This is my computer, and I have gone with a CRM solution called Zoho Project. So I have found that this is the best solution for me. Again, what you decide to go with is all up to you. Now for me, I am currently uploading or adding all the projects that I have got on my plate. So remember, I'm just one little guy sitting in my little guest bedroom here. I haven't even put all the stuff that is here, and we've already got quite a few things. So I've got things like cleanupetcg.com. So cleanupelithecomputerguy.com. There are some things that have been on the back burner that I need to clear up. I have events or conferences that I'm going to, Cisco Live, E2, Vlogger Fair. I've got these sponsorships. So at the end of the day, so right now I have 4 paying sponsors. At the end of the day, I want somewhere between 20 to 30 paying sponsors. Now, the nice thing with sponsorships is these people don't need a lot of care and feeding. I basically need to communicate with them about 3 or 4 times a month, and that's about it. That's it. Basically, I say, hey, are you happy? They say, yeah, we're happy. I say, okay, can I send you a new invoice? They say, yeah, I can send you a new invoice. I say, hey, do you want any changes? They say, oh yeah, can you make these changes? And I go, oh, okay, hey, I did these changes, right? Not too bad. So you think about that for like one sponsor, so Total Sim or FreeNAS or Veeam, that doesn't seem like that bad. But imagine, again, if that's 20 or 30 different sponsors and making sure all of those communications go out. Because again, if I forget to communicate with Spiceworks and say, hey guys, I just want to make sure that you're still sponsoring me for next month, that's a lot of money I lose. That's a lot of money I lose if I lose track of them. So, I've got these events coming on, I've got the sponsorships, I have other things. Again, when we're talking about like customer relationship management, the main thing is think of it more like people relationship management. So it's like I really like this company called TripLight. And so TripLight creates a lot of really cool stuff that they don't sell at Best Buy. So these guys do custom server racks. They do PDUs, power distribution units. They do air conditioning units. They do stuff that's just gonna make awesome material for classes for you guys. But again, I can't run down to Best Buy or Micro Center and do a class. I've got to actually kind of suck up to them and hopefully fly off to Chicago. So I have them on the list. I want to do a tour of a data center for you guys. So basically I can put this here and then I can create the notes, I can create the contacts, make sure things happen. Again, Micro Center in-store filming. So I want to start filming classes in Micro Center. So I've already been to Micro Center once. I've emailed the guy. I'm going to go back bug him today. So this allows me to keep track of all those things that are going on. So these are the big projects, but then when I click on the individual things, I can go in and I can see the individual tasks that I have for these projects, these events. So, it's to make sure, did I buy airfare? Did I buy a hotel room? Did I get local transportation? Again, you may be thinking, oh, Eli, that's no big deal. But remember, next month I'm going to 3 events alone. So every single month, if I'm going to 2 to 3 events, making sure I get a hotel room for each event is a big deal. Oh, crap. Did I get a hotel room? Again, on the customer or the people side of this, look at this after trip, the task list. Upload new videos. Make sure I upload the content that I created for you guys. Send thank you letters. So anybody that I met at the event that has special appreciation, that's an actual task to make sure I do it. Follow up with the new contact. So again, when I went to Interop, I met a lot of interesting people. I met about 15 or 20 interesting people. So make sure I continue to follow up with them and don't lose that contact. So if I spend all the money to fly out to Las Vegas, I spend all the time to go to Interop, I take all the energy to collect these business cards, but then I don't bother, or I don't think about, or if I forget to contact the people on the business cards, well then, what the hell was the point of that? And of course, the big thing is create reimbursement sheet and pay myself back for trips. So this is why these are important. So I can go in, I can go to the dashboard, I can go to the projects, and all in this one place, I can see what's going on. So Flogger Fair, I can see almost all my tasks are completed. Basically, all of this is just sitting there in that one nice dashboard so I don't forget about it. Because again, like I say, this actually, I've just started using this software like yesterday, and this is already what's in here. So this list will probably be triple the size by the end of the week. And so think about that. Those are all the quote-unquote projects and all the things that I'm doing. Then add in all the tasks underneath. It's not complicated, but it's just a lot of crap to remember, right? So the thing is, like when you're going for CRM, there's a lot of different options. So I did a review of this JitBit hosted CRM. So like they're one solution. Now, one of the things that you need to think about is when you're looking for this, again, when you're thinking about prices and stuff, make sure to go and figure out what the prices mean. So for this, like I say, they're like $23.85 a month with unlimited users. So this is an important thing. So you look at that price. Is that per user? Is that per concurrent connection? Is that for the service? So the one nice thing with like JitBit is it's 24 bucks and you can use this for your entire company. Whereas if we go over here, so Sage Act, these guys have been around for like ever and a day. They've been, or Act itself has been around since the 90s. They've been bought and sold and bought and sold and bought and sold a couple of times. But these guys are the software that you would actually install on your desktop. So we go here, we go to products, we go to compare products, and this is where you can start trying to figure out the price. So for Act Pro, it's $215.99 per user. If you go up to the Act Premium, that's $439 per user. So again, this is where you have to start thinking, you know, $20 a month seems expensive, but when compared to $439 per user, it might not be too bad. Then we come over to JitBit. Again, I like JitBit, the CRM. I did a review on them, and I love the price for their CRM. But then they have this software as a service help desk. Again, another CRM solution. But we go to pricing here, and the thing to think about is it can get all wonky. So let's see here, freelancer, 29 bucks. Okay, that gives you one agent. And then you go up to startup, $70, and it gives you 2 to 4 agents. And then you start thinking, well, what the hell does that mean? So 130 bucks a month gets me 5 to 9? What does it mean, 5 to 9? And this is where you have to read, and then you have to email, and then you have to call. Because I then clicked on, so we go over here, there's more info for number of agents, and I clicked on this and promptly thought, what the hell am I even looking at? So I'm the guy who's all legalistic. I'm the guy who's all licensee type guy, and I get completely lost in what the hell these guys are saying is an agent. I think they mean concurrent session, but I'm not going to bet $100 on that. So again, this is one of those things that you really have to look at. You really have to know what the hell it is you're buying. Because again, JitBit, and I've said good things about JitBit in the past, and on this particular one, I am just so seriously like, what the hell are they even talking about? I like truly just, what is this license? this license doesn't make a darn bit of sense. So those are some of the things that you should be thinking about for the real world CRM. This is absolutely vital to you, even if you're one guy. You know, when I was a consultant running around, I had my own little help desk system. Why? Because even when I'm one guy and I have 10 tickets to deal with, it just makes life easier. Now the big thing, and why I showed you JitBit at the end, and one of the things I really want you to realize is the big pain or the big problem you may ever run into with CRM solutions is it is absolutely spaghetti monster awful, horrible to do a migration. Migration of CRM is hell. It's not the 9th layer of hell. It's like the 19th layer of hell. Migrating from one CRM solution to another CRM solution with any amount of data is absolute and utter hell. So the big thing with your CRM solution, especially if you're dealing with a company, if you're just dealing with you, hey, go play, have fun, right? If it is just you and you get like 20 work orders a week for your little consulting gig, then, you know, if you have to migrate, it's a pain in the butt. It'll take you a day, no big deal. But if you are buying or setting up a CRM solution for a small company, and when I say a small company, even 10 people that have to do real work on the CRM, make sure you buy the right one. Make sure you do your beta testing. Make sure you sit down with the client. You have expectations management. You do everything that you need to do. Make sure it is the right product for the client. Because if that client starts using that product for 6 months and then goes, oh no, this just doesn't work. This doesn't work. I want this other one. The migration will be horrible. And I'm just saying 6 months. I'm not saying a year. I'm not saying 5 years. I'm not saying 10 years. I'm saying you take a small person office, 6 months on a CRM solution that they're really using, and you have to migrate that, it will just be absolutely and utterly painful. So these are some of the things to keep in mind. Again, the big warnings are migrations are going to be absolutely and horribly painful. And also remember that the data contained within the CRM is more valuable than the CRM itself. Again, one of the problems with consultants and business owners is they think of the value of things based on how much they pay for them. So JitBit CRM, they're thinking, oh, that's worth $24 a month. That's the service. That's not what it's worth. All of the data that gets stored within that CRM is exceedingly valuable. Literally, that CRM, that customer relationship management software, may very well become the most valuable asset for the company, especially with small and mid-sized companies. That's not a joke. That's not being funny. They may own semi-trucks. They may own warehouses. They may have 100 employees. But that CRM, with all of that data and all their customers and the relationships, that becomes the most valuable thing in that company. Because if it goes boom, it goes away. It goes away. So just keep that in mind. Again, a lot of times people want to use like Sugar CRM, like a free open source CRM, because hey, it's cheap, it's free. But again, what happens when that hard drive fails? Okay, you saved money not buying the the hosted solution, but now all of that data is gone, and that's living data. That's phone numbers, that's email addresses, that's oh god, just brutal, horrible stuff. So something to keep in mind. So, as you know, I'm Eli the Computer Guy. Today's class, CRM, or Customer Relationship Management Software Introduction. As always, I enjoy teaching this class and look forward to seeing you at the next one.